The Weed Porn Daily podcast is brought to you by the Weed Porn Daily Office iTouch. We're still running on that old tech, low tech microphone technology. What's up? It's like we're talking on the telephone, I guess. I guess not really. Telephones are a little lower quality, lower bit rate. But we're here. We're also brought to you by the Weed Porn Daily Head Shop, which has kept us plenty busy these past couple weeks. We've had a Christmas sale for the happy holidays, whatever way you celebrate it, whether it be Christmas, Hanukkah, or Kush Kwanzaa, however they do that.
Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa.
Yeah, that shit. And we also had a Boxing Day sale as well. The Christmas sale was 25% off, and the Boxing Day sale was 35% off. And as always, if you didn't catch those sales, it's cool, bro. We got you. 10% off with the coupon code POTCAST. POTCAST.
You the first one to use it.
Yep. I'm pretty sure the counter is still at 0. So head over to WeedPornDaily.com/shop. Pick up some hemp wicks, weed socks, rolling papers, fucking Raw, Cyclones, Juicy J's, some great big brands, and some just really affordable hemp wicks and weed socks. I try to get you guys the most affordable products in that regard, and just get you guys them at the best price, really. Like, there's no reason they should be costing the price that some people put them at sometimes. It's pretty crazy. Like 250 feet of hemp wick for like $25. That is murder, son. Go get yourself 400 feet for the same price, basically. WeedPornDaily.com/shop. And if you'd like to advertise on the Weed Porn Daily podcast, as always, head over to WeedPornDaily.com/advertise and send us over your inquiry. We'll work with you, and we may direct you towards the web advertising with our graphical ads, or maybe you want to do a sponsored post for like a specific event. Maybe you want to contribute like a piece of glass or something to us, and we can host a giveaway for you. Or maybe you want to just advertise on the podcast and hear my sultry sound, the sultry sounds of my dulcet tones, conveying your ad message. Yeah. So head over WeedPornDaily.com/advertise. And, yeah, let's jump right into it. It's been a while, no doubt. No fucking doubt. But we're back after plenty of,
Fuss.
muss. And I'm ready for this bong rip. How about you guys? I hope, you have a frosty bowl packed. I hope your hands are sticking together from just that dankness. I hope you just are smelling your fingers every now and then, because you're still catching the smell of those terpenes still lingering on your fingers. Or possibly, if you're dabbing, you're just sitting there lulled by the sweet flavor hits you've been getting off of that nice carb cap and that low temp e-nail that you've been set up with. That's what all I'm asking for. Or maybe just maybe, you consumed a nice edible and you ate half. You were like, I don't really feel it. You ate the whole thing. You're like, I still don't feel it. Buddy, you got some over there? Let me have some of that. And you ate some of his too. And now you're sitting on the couch, melting into it, realizing that our universe is simply a fabric, and you are water that permeates through it depending on your viscosity. And you are slipping, bro. You're slipping through, and you're going to finally find out that everything is okay, and everything is fine, and that you're one with this universe, and that all your worrying and all your doubts and all your pain and all of that is simply just a manifestation of thoughts that you have, and you have complete control over them, and you manifest the most magnificent imaginatory experience for yourself via the help of the CEVs, closed eye visuals, that you may be experiencing, as well as maybe some hallucinations. You never know. That's all I'm asking for. Just follow me there, if you will. I got a bowl here packed of some Black Diamond, indica dominant, and really fucking indica dominant. This shit hits you like a train. It leaves you like sinking into the chair. It kind of leaves you tired, lethargic, ready to sleep, and it's still kind of heady too. You know, you still get like a little bit of a head buzz, but you just don't feel that like psychedelic high. You don't feel the headband. You don't feel like anything really significant happening there. But it does help with pain in some regards, so you can't really argue with that. And it musters appetite pretty well. You know, I can't argue. There are better strains for it though. But let's dig right into that. Some black diamond. Oh, and what does it smell like to you? I don't even know. Like I said, it was soap and pine when I first smelled it.
It smells like soap. Yeah, soap.
Gotta love that terpenoid.
I absolutely hate soap.
Like fucking the fact that plants produce that smell naturally. You would think that it's fake or something. That it's something that a factory produced in 1986 or like Lysol created it. No. This was nature's doing. That chlorine, ammonia smell, that, like, yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
Cheers. Ooh, no fuss, no muss. That was a nice hit. Welcome to the Weed Porn Daily podcast. I am Grouch, the editor, owner, designer. I'm not even going to get into it. Head over to WeedPornDaily.com/about and check out our new About page and see our descriptions. But I'm here with the lovely, talented Mrs. WeedPorn Daily.
Thank you. Good evening.
You can follow her on Instagram at MRSWPD and Twitter as well. And you can follow us, as always, WeedPornDaily.com, WeedPornDaily on Twitter, YouTube, Flickr, all that shit. Basically, the only thing we don't have is Instagram, and we actually made a new one now. It's The Real WPD. So TheReal WPD. The one, the only. The Real WPD. So check it out. I've been trying to boost that page a bit, trying to get the follower count back to where the Contra Grouch one was, and just connect with people. I'm trying to use that one more to repost stuff, and I'm engaging more the audience. And I just keep the other one was more of a personal one, and this one is for the community. You know, it's Weed Porn Daily. So check that out. WeedPornDaily.com. Let's get right into it. There's so much news. We're actually gonna. I'll let you guys in on the back end of this. We're gonna do 2 podcasts because it's been so long.
3 podcasts.
Well, like 2 podcasts, like cannabis centrist,
yeah.
like news and tackling all the topics that we've missed and have been happening, and then we're gonna get into a personal one, and just get into that because when we talk Disney, we tend to do a 3-hour, 4-hour podcast anyway. Might as well just break it off into its own little special. So you guys will be getting 3 podcasts today, if our voices allow and time. We'll see.
It'll be fine. We have ice cream.
We have ice cream. Something to soothe the throat. But yeah, let's get right into the fucking news.
So do we have a rapid fire?
No, we're just digging into the news because it's like I don't know, it wouldn't be good as rapid fire. But if you'd like to, well,
Cool.
follow along, head over to WeedPornDaily.com, click the news button up top, or you can go to news.WeedPornDaily.com, or you can go to blog.WeedPornDaily.com/tagged/news or /your state /anything really crime, activism, legalize it. Just check the various tags and browse around the site a bit, or use the Google search. I don't know. I think I hit them all. What were you going to say? You were going to get into it?
I was just going to dive right in before you even did that.
Dive.
Yeah.
Go.
Well, I was just going to say this looks like an article written by you.
Yeah, actually. I couldn't find an article that actually aggregated the topic completely. I had one that was like telling me one piece of information and another one with another, and I was like, I need to convey both of these pieces of information. I might as well just write my own article. So I did. Yeah. I guess me read it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I want to hear you read my words.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. Santa Ana begins accepting medical marijuana dispensary applications. Written by Mr. WeedPornDaily. Officials in Santa Ana began accepting applications on Wednesday, December 17th for medical marijuana dispensaries. There could be as few as 8 dispensaries spread out through the city, and with over 100 already illegally operating in Santa Ana, it's clear we'll see a massive scaling back of businesses. After passing Measure BB on... Is it really Measure BB? Is that what it's called? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Sounds strange. On November 6th this year, citizens voted to enact a more regulated system for medical marijuana dispensaries, collectives, and cooperatives. Under Measure BB, there will be as few as 8 dispensaries allowed within the city of Santa Ana, down from the 100 plus currently operating. The dispensaries will be required to be at least 500 feet from each other and 1,000 feet from a school, home, or park. So, no residential. And after investing tens of thousands of dollars in the prospect of opening their dispensary, owners will be picked by the most logical and efficient process, by lottery.
Got a little editorial sting there.
Yeah.
Something.
Okay. I was like, that sounds so unbiased. The city will collect 5% of gross sales receipts and expects to rake in approximately $1.5 million per year in taxes. Taxes will in turn fund law enforcement's closing of unlicensed dispensaries.
So we're seeing Santa Ana finally making moves with regulation. It is a trend that we're seeing across California as we slowly move towards the recreational legalization that is inevitable for it. We're seeing all the medical marijuana cities and counties trying to essentially get their shit together and, wrangle in these fucking dispensaries that just seem to be popping up. Not like Starbucks, because even Starbucks has to go through, building codes and shit. These dispensaries just pop up. So, it's interesting to see the process go down, particularly when they have these incredible limitations and they have these 8 dispensaries supplying for an entire city, and they already there's already 100 plus. Clearly the demand is there for there to be a large amount,
100, and they're all comfortably operating.
Exactly. And they have the ability to just pop up and pop down, like they have the money for it. So clearly, what you're gonna do is just create 8 mega companies here. People don't want monopolies to be in the marijuana industry. Regulations like these simply create them. It's ridiculous.
Well, it's what this government is accustomed to.
And I thought there was going to be a related article. So we had another big, milestone in the movement towards legalization. The federal legalization of cannabis. As we're knocking down the dominoes state by state, we're seeing slowly the federal government, loosening their belt, telling, different departments hey, you shouldn't be doing this, you shouldn't be doing that, please don't prosecute marijuana as much, blah, 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 blah. We're seeing talk. And now we're seeing actual legal documents creating restrictions. No longer is it just someone say that we have to interpret and push upon people. This is a legal document that we can take them to court over and say, hey, what a wonderful kind of day. So we're here with the Huffington Post. Congress passes historic medical marijuana protections and spending bill. Congress dealt a historic blow to the United States' decades-long war on drugs. I don't know if it's almost, what is it? It was 1937. It's like 75 years. It's 3/4 of a fucking century. Let's put it into a proper perspective here. Decades. And Congress dealt a historic blow to the U.S. 3/4 long century war on drugs Saturday, with the passage of the federal spending bill, which contains protections for medical marijuana and industrial hemp operations in states which they are legal. Not a recreational marijuana, but hemp and medical. The spending bill includes an amendment that prohibits the Department of Justice from using funds to go after state legal medical cannabis programs. If the bill is signed into law, which it was, it will bring the federal government one step closer to ending raids on medical marijuana dispensaries, as well as stopping arrests of individuals involved with pot businesses that are complying with state law. So this was a historic thing. A lot of attention on this. Anything that happens on the federal level, a lot of people pay attention to it because that's where they want to see the moves. I see a lot of people get upset about the medical marijuana legalization, CBD bills, even recreational marijuana laws, and they say that, they don't even want to vote for that because they want to see it legal on a federal level. They don't even want to see these businesses try and struggle with the recreational business and trying to start up without a bank and paying these incredible taxes and dealing with all these loopholes they have to jump through. They'd rather just the federal government legalize it and wait for that. So this is movements towards that for that particular party of people, and for everybody really. This one was an interesting topic. We've and it's interesting because of how we've discussed this before. We're going to be discussing Native Americans here, getting an okay from the U.S. to grow and sell marijuana on their respective lands, right? So after the U.S.
Are they saying that we are giving them the okay, or we will not interfere if you participate in these activities?
We're gonna get into it.
Okay.
We'll get into it. I'll read the exact article, but we discussed in the past a very interesting situation where people who live in, I think, Washington or Oregon, because there are a lot of, I'm sure, tribes over there. That's Native American territory. A lot of people over there. So medical marijuana patients would be driving through Native American territory, and they would get pulled over by the Native American police or just people or whatever, and they would be like, get out of the car, give us all your weed, and give us your paraphernalia, and go. You're not allowed to have this here. And they would just take your weed and be like, we say it's not legal here. It may be medicinally and even recreationally legal in Washington, but on our land, you're not allowed to have this. And they would be enforcing it like that. So now they have an okay from the fucking federal government to be cool with it. So we'll see if they fucking flip their switch, or if they're still they have some fucking totem pole up their ass with this fucking problem. But from the LA Times, U.S. won't stop Native Americans from growing, selling pot on their lands. Opening the door for what could be a lucrative and controversial new industry on some Native American reservations, the Justice Department on Thursday will tell U.S. attorneys not to prevent tribes from growing or selling marijuana on the sovereign lands, even in states that ban the practice. The new guidance, released in a memorandum, will be implemented on a case-by-case basis, and tribes must still follow federal guidelines, said Timothy Purdon, the U.S. Attorney for North Dakota, and the chairman of the Attorney General's Subcommittee on Native American Issues. So, the federal guidelines are don't sell to kids, don't encourage interstate travel, that kind of bullshit. We've talked about them in the past. But interesting case. So more news from California. This time, good news. I like the sound of this because we've actually discussed this in the past. It's something that was atrocious happening in California, where you have a bunch of people going over there for cancer and for a bunch of debilitating conditions, life-threatening conditions, the conditions where they give you like months to live, and you rely on organ transplants, and people are going over there to not only get the medical help that they need, but get the medical help they need in the form of Mary Jane. And by doing so, they've eliminated their chance of getting organ transplants in most of the states.
Right.
Except for California now. From the Weed blog. California Medical Association. Allow organ transplants for medical marijuana patients. The California Medical Association, CMA, voted unanimously this weekend to urge transplant clinics in the state against removing patients from organ transplant lists based on their medical marijuana status or use. The CMA House of Delegates was in San Diego this weekend for its annual meeting and voted Saturday on Resolution 116 to 14.
116-14.
Yeah.
In support of patients' ability to remain
on the transplant list despite their medical marijuana use. The refusal of transplant clinics to place or keep patients on organ transplant lists is a widespread problem in California and other states. Medical marijuana advocacy group Americans for Safe Access, ASA, which is fighting to reform organ transplant policies in California, has received numerous reports of such actions at hospitals across the state, including Cedars-Sinai, University of California, Los Angeles, UCLA, University of California, San Francisco, and Stanford Medical School. CMA resolution opposes utilization of marijuana use and positive cannabis toxicology tests as contraindication for potential organ transplant recipients, and calls on using evidence-based medical findings to guide any alterations in the CMA policy. The resolution was authored by delegates Jordan Apfield, Nouriel Moghavan, Trishna Narula, MPH, and Sarah Smith. The ASA also lobbied hard for the passage of the resolution in hopes of advancing policy change at the state level. So not necessarily official by the books, but when you have fucking doctors coming out and urging it, particularly ones in an organization that runs shit, things are going to start getting moving. This isn't just people lobbying for it. This isn't stoners crying out for it. This isn't patients crying out for it and dying. This is, professionals, quote unquote, that people can look to. So this was the biggie this week. I remember reading this article and it's like 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 pages. It's so long, but it's so juicy that it keeps you in and it keeps you like reading more and more. But from the Westward, and this isn't the only place that actually did this. This was the first place I saw personally, and then after this, I started seeing a bunch of other places covering this topic and also covering it in like 10 pages. And it was from a different perspective, So this is clearly something that people are milking. Juicy story. From the Westward. Charlotte's Web. Untangling one of Colorado's biggest cannabis success stories. I won't even start to read it because it is literally 10 pages long. But basically, it starts off in the beginning, and it really just gets into the children who had seizures and epilepsy and that kind of condition, and got into the Stanley Brothers dispensary realm of caring. And that enabled them to gain access to the CBD medicine that they needed and stuff. So a little preface, if you guys don't know, you guys should definitely watch American Weed if you guys haven't. American Weed, it was on, Nat Geo, I think, or fucking Discovery Channel. It was on one of those. But it followed the story of the Stanley Brothers. Yes, Nat Geo. Came out in 2012. But it was a 5-episode, very short miniseries that covered the Stanley brothers, who were a group of brothers in the Colorado area who started their own dispensary and eventually chain of dispensaries to, I think it was supply Colorado Springs or something. It was one of the more conservative cities because they ended up banning medical marijuana there, like dispensaries. But they cover all that in the show, and the Stanley brothers are just these dudes who they
service little kids, right?
Yeah, they ran a dispensary, and eventually they started servicing children who had special epileptic conditions because they found a particular strain that would help them receive help in that. And they distilled it down in a kind of RSO, thick black tincture-esque stuff to give to the children.
Yeah.
And it proved successful. On the show, they showed a child who had great success with it, and they've just had a lot of success stories in the early years coming out of that. So from that success, the Stanley brothers have been around. Like, they blew the fuck up in Colorado. The realm of caring waiting list is just off the fucking, chain. It is, you cannot get on it. There are people who fly in, that this article mentions, to Colorado, and they're just holding their, seizing child in their hands, and they're just like, please help me. And the realm of caring has to turn them away, because they don't have a medical license, they don't have, they haven't followed any of the proper steps. To just getting access to the dispensary. There are just so many preliminary things to do. So they've got this huge waiting list there, and they're really getting popular there. And even in states where they're developing CBD laws, they're turning to the Stanley brothers with this quote-unquote miracle strain to come and grow that strain in their states. We had it in Florida, I believe. That's the only state that I can confirm that I know of, that they were planning on coming down and just somehow getting the cuts here. No one was talking about that. Actually getting the seeds or getting the cuts over here. No one was discussing how that was going to happen, but they were somehow going to get the cuts over here and start getting nurseries here to grow Charlotte's Web for them and, distribute it down here somehow. And it was just, that didn't work out. Because, I don't know if we've discussed that, but the Florida lottery fell out because they ruled it unconstitutional, and blah, blah, blah. That's a whole different story. But that just goes to show how fucking monopolistic these motherfuckers are right now. They're taking their CBD fucking medicine, and they're going around to different states, and they're just...
proposing it.
Yeah, getting it out there. We've seen the CBD medicine from other people. They aren't the only fucking people out there, man. People drop the Charlotte's Web like it's fucking... the fucking panacea to the epileptic disorders, Dravet syndrome, and we've seen it in Weed Wars, where they were given a different strain of cannabis. It was Harlequin, and the child with Dravet syndrome seizures was able to have significantly lowered number of seizures and garner an appetite and start talking and just have more brain activity and just more positive effects. And the article also discusses another group in Colorado that they don't have a waiting list, and they offer CBD medicine to people, and they offer it right away. And it's I forget how it works. It's you're limited once every 2 months, or they give you 2 at a time or something. There is a limit somehow, but you can just go and buy CBD from these people. You don't necessarily need to fucking sign up for their dispensary and fucking go through the waiting list and go through all these talks and shit.
It's a more streamlined process.
Yeah, you get the medicine that you need from these people, and they apparently have a much more larger supply of the CBD medicine to be offering to people.
It's just that it's not the name brand stuff that everybody's hearing about,
exactly.
Charlotte's Web.
They keep coming to the realm of caring, looking for Charlotte's Web, and then this guy, he has this similar medicine that could help.
It's those news organizations that they find one individual and then they keep harping on them.
Syndicated, yeah. It's crazy. So the Stanley brothers are seeing all these people, I'm sure, and seeing the fucking competition. I mean, I don't want to necessarily paint the picture that way, too. Obviously, they see the waiting list and are like, we have a lot of patients to care for. It isn't necessarily that we need to, like, make more money, and that we're losing out on customers. It's that there are sick people dying, and we gotta help them. I don't want to paint them as, like, money-hungry crooks completely. Because this is, like, like a charitable thing to society that they're doing. They're dedicating their practice to making a medicine that cures people of stuff. I make funny for a living and art. It's really difficult to say that I have the same amount of impact on society and benefit it. So these niggas...
They're fighting the government, basically.
Fighting the government. So what they're doing to circumvent the government and the regulations that are currently in place in Colorado is they've been taking the Charlotte's Web medicine and the strain and slowly tweaking it. So it's gotten to the point where the realm of caring and the Stanley brothers no longer refer to Charlotte's Web as a strain, but they refer to it as like an idea, or like a fucking like label, or something for like the overarching genetic pool that is the stuff that they're dealing with.
Oh, like they've been able to break it down into these really sub-strains in a way. Is what
Not even. What they're doing is they're saying like, this product is changing, and the strain isn't the same anymore. So we can't call it the same thing, but it is the same thing because we want it to be. We're not going to call it Charlotte's Web F2. We're not going to call it Charlotte's Web like, Deuce or like Charlotte 2 or something, like change the name. We're just literally going to change the genetics. The THC content is going to change, and the CBD content are going to change radically, and we're going to call it the same thing.
Can they do that? Is that...
That's what they're doing. I mean, there's no like rule book on strain names and stuff. You can do whatever you want. So that's what they're doing. They're perpetuating the Charlotte's Web brand out there. And now what they've been doing is tweaking the strain to go from a place where it had a higher THC content and it, possibly had more medicinal effects for people in that regard. Maybe garnering appetite, helping with pain relief, helping with muscle inflammation. And THC has its own pool of beneficial side effects that it carries. And they've been taking the THC levels and dropping them more and more. And trying to get it down to the point where the Charlotte's Web strain is constituted as hemp. Because hemp by law is like any cannabis that is, 0.6 THC % or less. It's like a very specific number. So what they did was they got their Charlotte's Web strain under that number, and now they can grow it industrially. Colorado actually has laws in place for hemp production. With the recreational cannabis laws that got put in place, not only were rec stores put in place, not only were processors and cannabis growers and all this established, there were actually hemp farms established, and there was actually the first hemp harvest in the U.S. recently, and I think in either Colorado or Kentucky, one of the two. But hemp production is now back in business in Colorado because of these new regulations, and the Stanley brothers are taking advantage of that by manipulating their strain to be under those guidelines. So now they plan on opening up a new greenhouse with over like 1,000 plants of Charlotte's Web to make into essentially what Dixie Elixirs is doing right now, and what they have been doing for several years. Dixie Elixirs, if you guys don't know, is a fucking... you can see all about them on Pot Barons, another TV show. If you, I'm telling you, if you want to edificate yourself on anything cannabis, there's a fucking TV show about it now, like all the major players and shit. Or if not, there's like a YouTube video on it or something.
Just go.
What was I saying?
Okay, so they're trying to become like Dixie Elixirs.
So they're trying to, and Dixie Elixirs is a company that creates cannabis tinctures in Colorado and California and a couple of other medical states. And they're a really big brand. They're trying to become like the Coca-Cola of cannabis tinctures. And what they've been able to do is actually take the industrial hemp plant, or what they call is like a special strain of it that they've found or whatever. But they're basically taking hemp, and they're distilling it into an oil, and they're selling it legally all over the world, where like you can sell hemp. So every state where it's illegal to have medical marijuana, illegal to have recreational cannabis, even it's not even decriminalized, you can have this medicine, and it's opened up this huge market of CBD medicine for people who aren't in these medical states and don't have the luxury of traveling, but they're also like incredibly expensive oils, and also very crude and extracted from like fucking hemp, like I said. So that's what the Stanley Brothers are trying to do now. They're trying to get their medicine to cross state lines, and not only that, but supply their
and service more
incredible
people.
base. Yeah. So this story just highlights that whole progression. It talks about children who have been taking Charlotte's Web, and then over time, even the parents notice that the viscosity of the medicine changes, like everything about the medicine.
Product.
Yeah, like the product was inconsistent, and the results were incredibly inconsistent.
Oh,
and
no.
that was not. Yeah, children were popping right back into seizures. One child almost like died
because
like it was,
of an inconsistency.
Yeah, and they were like, we're not using this medicine anymore. So you can read all about that drama in the article. It's a very in-depth article. And you can see also the Stanley Brothers article. I think I posted it in the news tag as well, talking about them opening up that new hemp greenhouse. Just really monopolizing on that shit. God damn. I don't know anyone else that's really taken their CBD strain and pimping it as hard as they are. Because everybody else... And they're also keeping it, like, not open source. They're keeping it behind closed doors. Nobody is allowed a cut of Charlotte's Web. Like, you have this medicine that could cure children of fucking seizures and shit.
Leagues of people.
Yeah, and you just can't fucking share the plant with people. In a community that's established upon sharing cuts of plants and developing strains and shit. Like
who the fuck shared that with you?
Yeah, exactly. Who shared it with you, and now you're keeping it behind closed doors? Like, how fucking selfish. Good point. God damn. So the Stanley Brothers really morphing my perspective on them. I mean, they're really doing it. It's really hard because you're digging a dagger into a man who's being charitable to the youth, and you have to remember that not only is he being charitable, but he's like also creating the problem. Yeah, he's like monetizing off of it. He could easily be sharing the gold with other people, and they could be sharing the gold as well. But no, he has to be the source. He has to be the provider. Yeah. So, we're done with the news. I'm glad
wow.
we tackled that. Yeah, we hit all the points I wanted to hit on the Stanley Brothers thing. So,
So we finished all this?
Yeah, we can move into WeedPornDaily news. If you guys should really be tuning into WeedPornDaily TV right now. I'm telling you right now.
We're at the peak.
This is a
renaissance.
Yeah. There was a period of time where there was a drought and we had no videos, and then there was a period of time where you were influxed with fucking podcast videos of just the podcast image and us talking. And like 20 videos of that. And now we finally got some actual content to deliver.
And more on its way.
More. Even more. So head over to youtube.com/WeedPornDaily and just check it out, man. I finally got that Basil footage put together and cut up and slapped together with some fancy songs. Make sure to check that out. We went to contemporary pipe making in the Wynwood area of Miami, downtown.
What is it, Habitat?
Habitat Gallery, South Florida, was hosting it. And they brought down some Elbow, some Joe Peters, some Chris Carlson, Snick, Brandon Martin, fucking Ram. There were just a huge amount of artists there, like big name artists that I've seen their work develop over time and them just become huge. And I've seen like Elbo's dinosaur pieces everywhere. I've seen fucking Carlson, his blog, and how he talks about blowing up kilns with his techniques. And I've just seen so much of these works. Snick's electroform shit just take off, and him like just blowing up the electroform movement, and just getting to see all of this stuff in person was just really stunning. And being able to bring it to you guys as well in the content was really nice. That was really nice. So check it out. Fucking, I pimped that video hard. I tried to spread it around the internet because it's like 20 to almost 30 minutes, and like 20 minutes of that is just art. Like it's just like art pieces, and I made sure to list the artist and the title, so you're not confused and you know exactly what you're looking at. So check that out. Fucking.
I mean, you work so hard in that video.
That video took the most time just because of the captions. I really wanted to make sure that people knew what they were looking at, because that's one of the things I hate with glass, where you just see it in a video or you see it in a shot, and they don't mention the artist or the title too, particularly.
'Cause this is artwork.
Yeah, you can mention the artist's name, and yeah, like I look up Snick, and what, like he has like 10,000 pieces, and yeah, so it was interesting. Like we saw fucking a Joe Peters collab there, and I'd seen it before, or one of the ones in that series on Bubble Man's World, and he had like it was like this, basically the same piece, but just bigger and with more detail and stuff, and more ornate. And it was like I was seeing like we saw the Queen.
Bubble Man had the better one.
We saw the Queen on Bubble Man's World, and the version we were seeing was like the Princess or whatever. Like it makes a difference.
Fucking ridiculous.
Right. So that was really fucking cool. It really inspired me to just do that more. I'm thinking about heading down to some local head shops and just recording some of their glass and getting some of those videos down and just diversifying the content a bit for you guys.
Really cool.
Yeah. I also got to editing the Disney video. We went to Disney recently, and I got a bunch of footage from that. I made sure to really just get a lot of B footage and try to be more cinematographer about it or whatever, and that video came out really nice in my opinion. I fucked up once. Like there's one gap where there's no song. I forgot to put in a song.
A little bit, yeah.
But in terms of just editing and flow and energy, I think it was like a really nice, happy video.
You did a lot of great speed ups and like time lapse kind of things.
Yeah, it kept it going.
It was a lot of fun. Great energy.
Yeah, I tried to keep it understandable too, like tell a story and show what we were doing and where we were going without just a bunch of captions or annotations and stuff. Yeah.
Or we didn't necessarily need to be like, okay, so where are we going? What are we doing? Like,
yeah, constantly coming in with vlog elements. Yeah, there were only a few of those.
Yeah, there's like few, but it's not as literal. Yeah.
It's nice too. I got in a really nice smoking session, just chilling by the lake on the first day. I kicked back with a raw joint and the camera and really just took in the scenery, relaxed. It's one of my favorite parts about vacationing and just getting out is just token in more scenic locations and taking it in while high and appreciating things. So that video is up as well, and
we have a new special video.
Yeah.
Life and times.
Yeah,
of
the everyday life. I was smoking, excuse me, at Mrs. WeedPornDaily's place, and she has construction workers, like lawn workers, who do work like around the place, and I didn't realize that they were going to be outside at the time, so I rolled up, like the video shows me just rolling up, whatever, not even realizing anything. I would come out. I even spark it up for a bit, and you can kind of hear people yelling, and I react a little bit, and it's like, whatever. But then, at some point, all of a sudden, I hear, like, a dude yell, "Hey, man, is everything good up there?" And another guy yells really close to me, Yeah, it's cool. There's a guy up here, but it's like, whatever." And the other guy goes, okay. Like, the guy, like, I'm on the second floor, and the One of the guys is downstairs, and one of the guys is on the fucking roof. And all of a sudden, I see a fucking...
he's trimming the trees.
He's trimming the trees. I see a chainsaw come down from the roof. I see nothing but a little hand and a chainsaw. And it starts cutting the tree. And pieces of tree just start falling next to me. And I'm recording, and I'm like, look at this shit. Look at these motherfuckers just, like, casually doing this shit. And all of a sudden, the guys start taking notice to me smoking. Because I was smoking behind, like, a screen. Like, we have, like, a thing that blocks people from seeing us completely. So they could see that I was there, and they could see puffs of clouds coming up. But they couldn't... they couldn't see me. So I actually was able to subtitle them in Spanish.
Translate them.
Yeah, they were, like, yelling some stuff in Spanish, and I subtitled it, and you can check that out. I thought that was a pretty funny video. Like, it was fake, it happening. It was really funny.
Like, I was taking a shower, I think, during the time. And so I came out of the shower and I was like, huh? Like, what's going on? And you told me and I didn't believe him. And he was like, you have to see the video.
And you're like, there's a video?
There's a video.
Yeah.
See, like, I would have never believed him whatsoever. That would have been a fake podcast video, like a story, and that would be it.
You were so stoned. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. You must have been so paranoid. I can't imagine. But video proof. Fucking.
Pixar didn't happen. It happened.
Yeah, and the audio came out so clear, too. I was worried that it would sound distant, and I would have to spend time boosting it and stuff. It sounded like they were fucking right next to me. It was awesome. It was pretty perfect.
So, new videos.
Speaking of perfect things, yeah. We took our socks down to a local shop recently. I've been doing that. I've been trying to take all my products, make like a little goodie box, and then drop it off at local head shops to see if they bite on my products. Because I've basically sent everybody in my state an email saying like, hey, I have products. If you want them, hit me up. But that is like the most vague shit. I get emails like that all the time from people in fucking China and shit, and they just end up on my spam. So actually going down with products, showing it to them, it really engages them much more. So I dropped off some products at a shop, and a couple days later I was hit up with an email from the owner inquiring about...
like how fast can you get them?
Yeah, I need the socks right now, and as soon as I sell out of the shitty raw and ital hemp wicks, I want to start stocking yours. Like, I literally went down to the store, and he's like, I want to start stocking your hemp wick, but I can't, because if I do, no one's going to buy the raw or the ital. And I was like, I know. But we went down, and I sold, I think, 21 pairs of socks, wholesale to the guy. It was nice. So I should have fucking video recorded it. I was thinking about going down soon and seeing if they still have any in stock. And just getting video proof of, like, our products in a real store.
Yeah, we still have time,
Yeah, it'd be nice.
We have to get it before Wednesday. Wednesday's, like, the popular day.
Yeah, true. But that was really fucking cool. I've made wholesale orders before, and we've stocked shops in New York, California, Oregon, Canada, Texas. We've stocked a couple shops. And... It's nice just getting a local one. That was our first local shop. Local artists supporting local shops, or whatever the fuck people say.
Support small businesses.
Yeah, that shit.
Yeah. But, that's pretty sick.
That was nice, yeah. Man, it's fucking... Yeah, it's nice. I guess we should get into it. It's Christmas time-ish. I don't know.
Well,
you guys are listening to this?
Well, it doesn't matter whether they're listening to it, like, whenever we post it, because it's past Christmas.
Yeah. I mean, if you guys want to pretend that we're in Christmas time to make you feel better, if you want to go to that level, I'll jingle some bells over here. Mrs.
Sound effects?
Yeah, Mrs. WeedPornDaily will start a fire, a place so you can hear some crackling. I don't know.
My knuckles crack.
But it's fucking Christmas time, man. It's that wonderful time of the year where we have less weed for some reason because all the harvests were a couple months ago. We're slowly drying out, and we're in between harvests right now. No, it's a time of giving. It's a really nice time. It's a time where Mrs. WeedPornDaily is shaking her head. She's like, "No, grip the weed tighter." It's a time of giving and sharing with people, and it's one of those times that goes hand in hand with cannabis, I feel, because the ideals just play into ideals that we have established into our culture. So the celebration just it's just harmonious in that sense. So we had a Christmas sale. We celebrated Christmas ourselves. That was nice. We spent it with family and had a nice big dinner, and
yeah, we did the New Year's Eve and New Year's Day.
Like in one day kind of thing. Yeah.
What do you mean in one day?
You said New Year's Eve. And New
Year's... Or, sorry, not New Year's, Christmas Eve.
Yeah, I was like, I guess we did celebrate that too with them. Like,
wait, sorry, my bad. But, yeah, we did it like that, and then, that way, we had, like, Christmas Day to ourselves.
Yeah.
Which was the first time
Yeah,
ever.
It was really nice. We had a tree, we spent time together, we had McDonald's. It was the perfect Christmas. It was really nice. It's pretty crazy, just how stuff works. Like, around the holidays, any holiday, I fucking hate it. Because as a person who lives on, like, or subsists on fast food in some sense, like, I meal plan like crazy. Like, I'll eat leftovers, I'll plan shit, I'll freeze food to defrost and eat currently or whatever. Like, I preserve stuff. But there are just times when you just cannot cook or cannot schedule stuff or just mismanage and you need food now. And fast food is just that perfect answer to that. And on holidays, it's fucking impossible to eat outside of your house. I feel like it's a fucking Dickensian novel. And I'm like, all of a sudden it's snowing, I have a bowler's hat, and I'm going around house, like I don't even have my car anymore, I'm just going house to house. And I'm like, please sir, can I have a bit of your turkey? And they're like, oye, tú no tienes comida porque tú no cocinaste para hoy, tú no tienes familia, ¿qué pasa hoy? And I'm like, sir, this is Dickensian, please, this is not, we're not in the Caribbean. So I really struggled. I was like, what the fuck? Do I have to go door to door and rely on the charity of people today for food? Like, what the fuck do people expect today? But thankfully, the fucking, one of the businesses that I hate to support, but, they do shit that, every time. They have ideals that I support. 24-hour food service, open like 7 days a week all the time. And consistent quality if the people aren't fucking it up.
Like, if the manager's there.
If the manager's watching over them. Like, McDonald's is the shit. Like, I remember I even turned to you, and I was like, let's not even do McDonald's today, baby. I know we do McDonald's a lot. Let's do BK today, because let's just change it up. And you're like, baby, BK doesn't even open on Christmas. And I was like, fuck. Like, that's how strong the McDonald's game is. Like, they just own it. Yeah. But, fuck. Like, food. Like, unless you want to eat at IHOP, Denny's, or McDonald's, there are no food options past, like, 9 o'clock at night or any special day. Or just, like,
past, like, 6 p.m.
Yeah, to some extent.
Because we... oh, no, that was Christmas Eve. Never mind. I was going to say we passed by, like, places and they were still open.
Even, most places, they were, like, catering instead of serving, like, food, like, single serve. So, man, I don't know. Like, why don't we live in a place where I can just get food on demand? Like, I understand that, people...
Why are we so holiday-centric?
Yeah, like, I understand that people need to celebrate or whatever. We need to, like, be charitable and give people time for that season. But why do we all have to pick the same day? Like, why does society have to shut down? Like, it was eerie driving down the street and just looking at...
business is empty.
Yeah, like, all the lights were off in places, and then there would be, like, one spot alive, and just everyone attracted to that. And I was like, yeah, because people still need to do business, and everywhere's fucking closed. Like... It was.
And wherever they were open, people swarmed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we survived Christmas.
It's funny too, because I was like, man, we should plan some special food for Christmas. You know, like that's what people do.
We should have a special breakfast.
Yeah, breakfast. You know, dinner, and even a dessert. And
let's plan something nice, a treat.
Fucking so much work came into play and family stuff.
I didn't have a chance to make my Christmas hats.
You didn't have a chance to make your Christmas tree skirt or whatever. You even got a nice kitty fabric. You got a fabric with like kitty heads that wearing Christmas hats. It was the perfect find. Perfect.
I didn't have a chance. Yeah.
It was nice. We got to decorate a tree, though, this year. I've never really decorated a tree. I mean, I've decorated it with my family, but I do, like, one or two ornaments, and I just, like, sit down. And, yeah, novice. Like, you're fucking... Talk to me about your tree that, like, is put together by, like, 100 different components. Okay. We can't put this into 3 parts that plug into each other, branch by branch. Let's do this.
But it's because that way, like, you're, like, interacting with every branch, and you're, like, spraying them out, making sure they're all even, and, like,
I can do that with the 3-piece, too. I just plug, and then I have all that time to adjust. Not, like, plug one. Okay, let me adjust this. Oh, fuck, it's not even the right length, because there's 3 different lengths of, like, multiple different branches. Like, that shit. How old was it? 18 years old? Or some shit.
That is like that
30
tree,
years old?
No, that tree's like 20 years old.
20 years old. It's showing its age.
It's
like
not.
Whoever invented
it's like
that.
Super. You know, you're gonna see photos of it and everything like that, and you're gonna be like, "Oh, this looks like."
It looks like
it looks like it came out of Kmart. Or something.
Once you put it together and put lights in it and stuff, it looks normal. But like naked, it looks like I don't even know, like fucking like Lego like tree, like fucking like. Not even, it looks like Connect tree. Like fucking like the engineering Legos. Like that shit was... There were multiple components, many different sizes. Like, yeah. But it was...
It looks good.
It does look good. And we didn't necessarily get to put heady glass in it like Coral did, but...
We put Disney stuff.
We put Disney stuff. Who was the star of our tree again? Duffy, that's right. Got a big Duffy doll on the top of the tree, and the nice.
I love it though.
Yeah.
But I'm sad that I can't hold him. He's all the way on the tree.
Yeah. Well, once you take him down, you can hold him again. But for now.
But not during Christmas time when Christmas feelings are strong.
That's why you have the other Duffy for.
Well, I know, but
We gotta make him a Christmas coat or something. Yeah, that was nice, Christmas time. It something that we rarely celebrate together. And it like, holidays are something that I just usually just ignore. You know, like, I'm one of those people that I just celebrate when I want to celebrate. You know, I reward myself when I want to. You know, and I don't necessarily go with, like, everyone else's flow. So, you know, actually sitting down, actually participating and all that, it was different. It was nice. It was... nice.
Yeah. On Christmas Eve, you met my whole family. That whole debacle. That was horrible.
Tried to stuff as much food in my gullet as possible.
We really regretted it. I really regretted it.
I was okay, actually.
But yeah, you did that, and then the day after Christmas, it was work day. It was dedicated work day. You just worked.
Yeah, we had a lot of orders to catch up on. We had sock labels to print, cut, and apply, and we had a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah, for everybody that was making those Christmas purchases, which was really cool.
I've rolled out 1,200 feet of hemp wick into 50-foot things. I've labeled approximately I think 120 socks or something like that, and made that many labels, and it's it's been a busy week.
There was that, and then there was that day, but there was also another day I went south. I don't know if I should talk about that at all.
Went south.
Should I mention me going south?
No.
Nah. Okay. But yeah, you had another work day, lots of work days.
It's been just a nice holiday season. We didn't necessarily get to splurge on the music as much, and I really wanted to record, like, I did some parody songs for, just for fun. Like, my rendition of Happy Holidaze. Happy Holidaze?
Happy Holidays.
And what was it? I did another one. Sleigh bells. Not the sleigh bells ringling, ting ting tingling, but the other one. Something with sleigh bells. I wrote 2 songs, and I was actually practicing them for a little while because I wanted to record a video where I performed them. But
Okay.
I was gonna say we, but it would be my voice, and then you would be mouthing it at some parts.
And it would just be 2 of your voices, not my voice. It was
Yeah. So I wanted to do that, but we haven't had time. We had to record a 420 Goodie Box December edition video. I had to we had to set up some video lights. We have video lights now, so we had to set that shit up. That was a fucking process.
We're going into the second podcast now?
I'm teasing it.
Oh, okay.
And I had to do some developments as well. I've been really, I got like a little fire under my ass, and that just got me programming and producing and developing, and you guys will hear about that on the next podcast. But I hope you guys had a fucking happy holidays, man. Like, I don't know how else to express it. I just hope that the holiday seasons was cheerful and full of cannabis for you. Because I know that as much as there is that positive side and people sharing and caring and loving and coming together, there's also that side where people just like don't give a fuck or like feel dejected or exactly, and they want to stay away from them. And I completely understand that too. And just whatever you're doing, bro, like celebrating yourself, just spark one up in the cold weather and keep warm. And I don't know.
Happy holidays.
Light your own fire. You know, it isn't necessarily about like sharing that cheer with other people, even though you can. But just remember to keep yourself happy, if anything, because that's the most important thing. Keep yourself happy, and then you can keep other people happy. I'm sure people would argue that you can do it opposite, but try to light that fire inside yourself. Remind yourself when you spark that joint that you earned it, that you've been working incredibly hard, and that you're not like a lazy pothead, and that you have a fair amount of intelligence inside of you, that maybe you couldn't beat a 5-year-old or whatever the fuck that game show is called.
Smarter than a 5th grader?
Smarter than a 5th grader, but you know, you have your own set of skills and knowledge that you've accrued over time, and you apply them in your own way, and you should be proud of that, because I'm sure whatever you're doing, hopefully, is something that you enjoy, because it's what you're gravitating towards. And just remind yourself that you work hard. You deserve that spliff, that joint, that little bit of extra that you're putting into your bowl. You know, you enjoy that time that you're taking off, and that you're recuperating and allowing your muscles and your mind to just relax and just not be anxious, not be distraught, not be stressed, just in complete relaxation, and hopefully in a state of kind of happiness or some positive emotion carrying you on your trip. So I hope you guys have a happy, high holiday season this year, and stay regular, Super Stoners. I'm Grouch.
And this is Mrs. WeedPornDaily.
What does it continue on track 2?